weekend. We'll get into a lot of that later on about honoring and celebrating your mom. We want to hear from you and what makes your mom special and all that good stuff. So we'll roll through this today, my brother.
Yes, we will. And we definitely want to honor the moms. And in fact, I think we're going to have a very special guest at some point in the show.
10:15.
10:15 is when that's happening. Oh, I
Yes.
cannot wait for this.
Cannot wait either for this. So, Dr. Crane, you ready for our special guest at 10:15?
Indeed, I am.
She is the reason we do the show.
She's the reason why I'm actually here.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Nani is going to join the show. I
Cannot
wait. It's going to be fantastic.
Some people in the area, she's a Nashville legend.
That's true.
That's
That's
right.
true. So we will look forward to that and hearing more about Dr. Crane and all that he does. So he's obviously a special part of our family. So it'll be cool to just bump into that mic. Judge.
Well, the mic doesn't. It won't. And this is a lot of that's what she said coming up. The mic won't bend over. It won't twist. It won't turn. It's like kind of stuck in one position. It won't go down.
That's what she said.
So I'm trying to turn it down without breaking it. I don't know what to do. All right. So anyway,
I don't either.
I'll hit it like 5 times. Apologize. So it's all good with there.
Yeah.
Right there. So Chase, let's start real quick. Shout out to your mom, who is a beautiful, beautiful human being. What makes your mom so dang special?
Oh man, there's so many things that make her special. Her heart, she's a teacher. She has been teaching for a long time. Basically longer than my life. And so she does a lot, to help mold the youth of America. So but she's been a fantastic mom to me and always there for me. I'm a little under the weather. I'm 37 years old and I got like 1,500 texts from her last night of what do you need? Do you need something? So great. I mean, it's just mom's. That's mom. And so it's she's been fantastic. So you've gotten to know her over the years and everything. So we love Carol.
Yes, we do. Do you remember a time when she spanked you? Please tell me there was one time.
Probably when I was when I was younger. Now the thing with her was I always, like, it was school. Like I if I had a bad report card or a progress report or something, that's when I got scared of her because she was a teacher. So it was like, oh no.
Then you knew, man. It's like,
and here's the best part. She knew that the only reason I had a bad grade was because I just wasn't trying. It wasn't applying myself. And that's when I'd get the, just the crossed arms, I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
Oh, that hurts. That's the worst one. Dr. Crane, what about your mom?
Oh, I love my mother. My mother is just the absolute rock to the family. I mean, I'm not discluding my father, but my mom does a lot, especially with my dad. But she's been cutting hair for 40 plus years. Anytime that my hair did not meet the right requirements at grade school, my mom would do it on the spot. Kind of like Chase, I wasn't able to really act out in school. One, because my mom cut all my teachers' hair, so didn't really work out that well for me there. But yeah, I'm very thankful for my mom.
Hey man, your dad's got his own day in June.
You're right.
So,
you're right, yeah.
We'll celebrate him then.
Yeah, I'm very thankful for my mom. Without her, I don't think I'd be in the position I'm in today. Not work purposes, but just in general.
Oh, you wouldn't be here. There's no question.
There's that.
I wouldn't either. So.
So, she's really helped me through a lot of hardships in my life. And it's just been very, very gratifying to look back and say, hey, thanks, Mom.
That's awesome. I will tell you, I had a football coach when I went to play off to college to play football. We had a meeting. The first meeting, he wrote 3 things on the board. And I'll never forget this. We're all coming together, different parts of the country, getting ready to play football. And he had 3 things. Number 1 said, don't embarrass your teammates. Don't embarrass the program. And the last thing was, don't embarrass your mother. And I'm telling you, man, that's been almost 40 years now. And that's the one thing I remember from going off to college to play football was those 3 words. And I tell my son all the time, I said, look, I can handle anything that you do. But remember, when you do something, think to yourself, is this going to embarrass my mom? No matter what, do not embarrass your mother. My mom's been gone 14 years, and I still live by do not embarrass your mother.
Yeah.
Don't embarrass your mom.
It's great. It is fantastic advice to live by.
It is. So all that.
And not to get too mushy and everything, but I've been very open. My dad passed away about 3.5 years ago with cancer, and our last conversation, basically the last thing he ever said to me was, take care of your mom. So I made that promise. Not that of course I was going to do that no matter what, but that's kind of that code that I've lived by. So we're celebrating moms today. And if you want to call or text and say something cool about your mom, a story about your mom, 615-737-1025. That's our question of the day, basically, is just honoring moms. We're going to have a few people call in throughout the show and talk about moms. We'll have our guests and everything. Greg Wyshynski going to join us at 9:30, Chris Sanders at 10. And then it's a big one in Knoxville in baseball. Vanderbilt going to take on the Vols. We'll talk to the voice of the Commodores, Andrew Allegretta, coming up at 10:30 and get his thoughts on that matchup as well. So a lot of good things today.
Yeah, big weekend. So we have all the questions. You can call in. We want to hear about what makes your mom special. But I tweeted out earlier, the greatest TV mom of all time. I know we do this every year. The greatest TV mom of all time. Chaser, who's the greatest TV mom of all time?
I mean, for me, it's Marge Simpson. Come on. We gotta love Marge.
Oh, yes. I'll dig it.
Marjorie.
For me, it is the one and only Cindy Walsh from 90210, Carol Potter, followed closely by Florida Evans. They're like 1 and 2 in my life for TV moms. Claire Huxtable's got to be up there, right?
Yeah, it's a good one.
And there's others. Edith Bunker. Edith was a good mom.
She was.
She got things going. She knew what was going on. And others. So we're here we have a fun show today. So just let us know what you think about that.
I like that. Have you seen this news that apparently Bill Belichick's girlfriend has been banned from North Carolina from the football facility?
Now, is this real? Because I don't know what's real and what's not real anymore.
I believe this is real. This is, pretty much everybody's running with this now. So I heard it at the end of Robbie and Rex Road. The university, this is from Bleacher Report. The University of North Carolina has banned Jordan Hudson from its football facility, according to Meadowlark Media's Pablo Torre. And Pablo Torre is a reliable source. So Torre also cited a source close to the Tar Heels head coach Bill Belichick, who said there's deep worry for how detrimental Jordan can be for not just North Carolina, but Bill's legacy and reputation.
He ain't wrong, right? That is something. All right, I'm seeing it now. It's all over the place. Okay. But, Belichick had total control of that program. I guess he didn't have total control.
Well, is she like, what are we going to find out here? Like, has Bill lost it completely, or was she just that manipulative? Like, what was the deal?
That's a good one. I don't know. That's if what you just said rings true about, his legacy, what's going on. Look, nobody's talking about him, coach. It's like, hey man, have you seen Bill Belichick's girlfriend and what happened on that CBS interview? That's all people talked about. So I guess the family stepped in and said, look, this isn't good at all.
No, it's not. And it's like, we've all kind of been in those situations, I think, where we've been a little blinded, love blinds, so to speak, or whatever this is. But I don't get it. This is such a so opposite of anything Bill Belichick would ever do that I'm like, what is this?
Yeah, right. It's the whole story, but it's something we can't get enough of.
Oh yeah, no, it's like you mentioned 90210. It's like that. You can't look away.
It is.
It's a drama.
I didn't expect to hear that news. Again, I was looking on the I was like, it's got to be fake. This got to be fake, but evidently it's not. So banned from the facility.
It's not.
I'm sure she'll have a word to say about this today. But if
do another 60 minutes or another CBS interview, something like that.
I'm sure it'll happen. She's getting her 15 minutes of fame. She's about 13 minutes in now. And so she'll just roll with that.
I mentioned my mom earlier. She just texted me and asked how I'm feeling. So there you go.
Oh,
shout out to moms.
Even Matt on the text line says, damn it, Chase, I'm ready to send in something great about my mom, but now I'm all emotional driving down I-40. Thanks, Matt.
Sorry, Matt.
That's right. Got to you. 0178 says Roseanne is the greatest TV mom of all time.
Uh, define great, like, but that's a good one. Eddie. What was the Munster in the Munsters? What was her name?
Oh my goodness.
Chris said Eddie Munster, but I think that's the kid, right?
Yeah, that is the kid. Eddie
Or
Munster looks
Edie.
Eddie Munster looks like Corey Curtis, so that's not him. Who is I know it's Morticia Adams, but that guy who's Monster? Judith.
Yeah,
No, Judith.
I don't know.
When he's
Lily Munster.
that's
Is
the
it Lily?
daughter. That's the daughter Lily. Grandpa.
Well, Chris said EDY. Is that Edie?
I don't know who that is.
I don't know.
EDY?
I don't know. Scott says Gloria, A Modern Family.
Pretty good. That's a good
Sophia
one.
Vergara.
Yeah.
Dave, Peggy Bundy.
Oh yeah. Oh, Peg Bundy.
Ow. Yeah, that's a good one. That is listen. I feel like that a lot of people don't appreciate Married with Children and how
No.
great of a show that was.
Not at all. I'm with you 100%. One time
Like-
Al Bundy walked in and she said, Al, did you miss me? He said, yeah, but my aim's getting better. It's just one of the greatest lines ever, man. Awesome.
People don't understand that, like, the sitting on the couch and like putting the hand down the pants and just like letting out this big sigh. It's like,
Yeah,
that's
right. That's what it was. So it is a Lily Munster, I guess. There's
Lily,
a lot of
okay.
people that are, I thought that was the daughter. I guess I was wrong. I haven't seen that show in forever, but Lily Munster. Yeah, so Lily and Morticia Adams and all those.
Okay. Carol Brady getting a lot of votes.
Carol Brady, yeah, that's a great one. I forget about half of these. And we do this every year, and I still forget about half of them. I mean, Florida Evans.
June Cleaver.
June Cleaver. Don't say it.
Marilyn was the daughter of the Munsters.
Marilyn.
Yeah, so Lily's the mother. Okay, there you go.
Look at our text line. You guys are great, man. We're Chase and I are just a bunch of bumbling idiots, and you guys always come through for us. That's good.
We try.
We try.
We try. It's 615-737-1025. That's our phone and text line, driven by WilsonCountyHonda.com. David in Arkansas says Jill from Home Improvement. That's a good one. Great show, underrated for sure. We'll take your calls and texts on moms and the greatest TV mom of all time. That is our question of the day. Hair Metal Henry, stand by. We'll get to you coming up next. And also, do we have a special guest?
We do. We have the guy that's responsible indirectly for more babies being born in Nashville than anybody else. Is going to
Definitely not Hair Metal Henry.
He's going to call and talk about his mom. So that's next.
All right, we will do that coming up next. We're broadcasting from the Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning Game Nashville Studios, home of the $99 yearly Beehive membership, where the buzz is always about great service. Chasing Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3, The Game on this Friday. We are presented by the Omni Nashville Hotel. All right, Joe, I'm gonna take Hair Metal Henry's call real quick, and then we'll get to our special guest. Hair Metal Henry's been waiting patiently. A mom's story. Hello, Henry.
What's up, gentlemen? First of all, between all the crap this woman took from James, JJ, Michael, Thelma, Walona, and Booker, Florida Evans is the greatest TV mom of all time. And unfortunately, my mom's been gone about 7 years, but since Joe brought up the spanking, I thought I'd tell you about the worst one I ever got. So I used to go to church at Hendersonville Baptist Church, and at that time it was next to McDonald's on Gallatin Road. And forever I've been begging my mom to go sit up in the balcony with my friends, but she wouldn't let me do it. So I'm finally 13 years old, and she allows me to go up. She gives me $5 for the offering plate, and I'm going. So I get up to the balcony. My boys are like, hey, let's ditch church and go across the street to the bowling center and play some video games, and we'll get back before church is over. So I'm like, sure, why not? So we stop at the donut shop, we get a donut, and then we go to the bowling center, and we're playing video games. And I notice it's getting kind of late, so I'm freaking out. So we finally get back to church on time, and I meet my mom, and we go home. And about 30 minutes later, she comes into my room. So how was church today? Oh, I had a great time. Thanks for letting me hang out with my friends. What did you learn? So I'm scrambling to try to remember anything on the church bulletin to try to BS my way out of this.
Oh, no.
And so I'll give her this story. She says, well, that's nice. Linda just called and said you left your bowling center or Bible at the bowling center. And I think it was about 3 days later when I finally came to. So everybody out there who still has your mom, talk to them, go visit them. I wish I'd have done that more, but love on your mothers. See you, boys. Have a good day.
Thank you, Henry. Appreciate it. Oh, that's a good one. All right, Joe, you do the honors. Introduce our next guest.
Well, this guy is the absolute best. He's got a big heart. He's a good man. He's a good friend. And I tell you, he's responsible indirectly for more babies in Nashville, Tennessee than anybody else. It's our good friend, Phil Vassar, who's on the road up in New Jersey. Phil, good morning. Thank you for taking time. How are you?
Well, I'm doing great. How are you guys doing? It sounds like you're having fun this morning.
Always having fun. And happy Mother's Day. I texted you to come on and talk about your mom and what she meant to you. What did your mom mean to you, Phil?
Well, she's the sweetest. I mean, she's 80 now, and I'm actually getting ready to go see my mom. In the morning, I'm flying out, and at about 5 o'clock in the morning to go see her. So, she's sweet. She was everything. My dad wasn't around, so it was me, my sisters, and my mom. And she was the driving force behind everything I ever did. And she was always there for everything. And she's a sweet, sweet lady, and I can't wait to see her.
Yeah, I was going to say, when you picked up to come to Nashville on a wing and a prayer, what did she tell you?
You know what? She was the only one that said do it. And everybody's like, man, you're crazy. Whatever. You always get that. But it was just, it was time. I knew exactly what I wanted to do. And I had to go to Nashville to do it, and it was a lot of work, years and years of, whatever I had to do, bartender or, actually, I had a restaurant and a nightclub because I couldn't get a record deal. I couldn't get songs cut. And then, lo and behold, everybody started cutting them. And, I got my deal, and then I've been on the road for 25 years. So there you go. It happened, man. But she was definitely the driving force behind it.
Well, who's the one that took you to piano lessons growing up? Was it mom?
Whatever. I never took a lesson. I've never taken one in my life. I should have.
Wow.
I did get the piano. They brought a piano over to my house as a kid. That was from like one of my great aunts or something. And I still got that thing in a warehouse in Virginia somewhere. And it was just, I just started playing it and figuring it out. I played by ear, of course. A lot of people do that, but I got better and better, and that just started. I wrote a song for my high school graduation. That was kind of the first song I wrote, and then ticket to Nashville out of college, and that's where I've been ever since. I love it.
Phil Vassar is with us. Do you remember what her reaction was the first time she heard you on the radio? Have you talked to her about that? Were you with her?
You know what? I was actually in Virginia when it happened. I was doing a radio show with the local station there in Lynchburg and Roanoke area, and I actually woke up to it. It kind of went off. The alarm went off, and my song was playing on. I thought I was dreaming, and Carlene was on. That was my first single, and my mom, she calls over. Are you listening to your song? I'm like, Mom, I'm still asleep. What's going on? But anyway, she was so sweet, and she just always she was always very proud and still is, and I can't wait to see her. I can't wait to see her this weekend.
Now, is she here or is she in Virginia? Where is she at?
She's in Virginia. Yeah, she's in Virginia, and my sisters are there too. So, and my nieces, and so we're going to get to go see her, and I'm going to see her and hang out, do all that fun stuff, and then of course I have to get back out, and I got to go out west. I think on Tuesday or something. So it's always something. You're kind of running around, but I'm lucky to be doing it right now.
Yeah. So what are you up to these days? Touring pretty much?
Well, I'm not touring as much as I usually do, but I'm actually, I'm kind of picking it back up a little this year, and then I'll get back up. But, next are pretty good. The fall's good, and I'm just enjoying my life. I think for the first time, after I had a heart attack, all that stuff happened last year, and a stroke and all that. You just don't. I expect, I'm not a drinker and a partier. I worked out every day, and then I died. So anyway, but I did all that happened, and Vanderbilt fixed me. I fixed my heart stuff, and it was just genetically flawed. I just had a lot of all that crazy stuff going on, and then now, of course, I feel like a different person. They fixed me, and I had a stroke. I went down to Shepherd Center. I spent like 5 months down there.
Wow.
And but when I came to, I was in a wheelchair, and I'm going, what in the world is going on? And but anyway, the doctors explained to me what was going on. So it took me a couple of years to recover from all that mess, but I did, and I feel great now, and I'm really happy I get to go see my mom this weekend, man. It's just Mother's Day means more than, and being with my kids means more than anything now. So it's a great time,
It's beautiful. And you're still here, baby. That's the best part about this. Phil, man, I know you're busy. Thank you. We think the world of you, man. I go back to our Club Vita days working out down the block here. Those were some good times back then, man.
Man, can you believe it? I mean, it's been it feels like 100 years, and then it feels like yesterday some days. But
yeah,
man,
right.
I'll tell you what, it's something else. We're still here. You're right about it.
I know you had the long hair, and we thought you were Lex Luger, the wrestler, because you look just like him. We were all buff and big back then. I'm like, that's Lex Luger. And no, that's Phil Vassar, you dummy. I'm like, oh, okay. But Phil, thank you, brother.
I don't look that way now. But anyway,
none of us do, man. Hey, thank you. Much success. You ever need anything, you know where we are, man.
Thank you guys so much for having me, and happy Mother's Day to y'all.
You too, Phil. Thank you,
Awesome.
buddy.
Thank you, Phil
See
Vassar.
you, brother. Bye.
Phil Vassar joining us here on the show, and you guys go way back, don't you?
We do. I mean, he did. He looked like Lex Luger. I mean, he was buff and big, and he played at the Courtyard Cafe and had his club, A Hard Day's Night. But I'm telling you, man, Chase, in the mid-90s, everybody went to see him at Courtyard Cafe, and a lot of people got married and had kids because they met at Courtyard Cafe. I know dozens and dozens that did that. So he's a good dude, man.
It's really cool. So we'll continue to take calls, texts, have a few special guests call in as well, talking about moms here on the Chase and Big Joe show. But coming up next, the Titans rookies, they hit the field this weekend, and there was a historic deal in the National Football League that I wonder Is that going to open up Pandora's box, so to speak? We'll discuss that and much more coming up next. It's Chasing Big Joe here on a Friday. Also tune in to this afternoon starting at 4:15 as the Commodores take on the Tennessee Volunteers. We'll talk to Andrew Allegretta coming up in about an hour. First pitch at 4:30. You can also listen on the Game Nashville app and the GameNashville.com. Vandy, Tennessee this afternoon. It's Chasing Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Chasing Big Joe, 1025, 1063 The Game here on this Friday. I see the theme now with moms. We say hello. Usually it's on Thursday, but a day later, but that's okay. Greg Wyshynski joins us now, presented by Old National Bank. Get old. And Greg, there's a lot to get into, so I'm just going to start locally with the Predators. Barry Trotz finally does his end of season press conference on Monday. He announces that Andrew Brunette will be back as the head coach, which was what we all kind of thought. But what were some of your takeaways from what Trotz had to say?
First of all, greetings from the dining car on an Amtrak train coming back from game 2 in DC.
Very nice.
Hear any announcements or what have you? It's kind of what we expected, right? We talked about it last week. The idea that, bringing Brunette back was going to give them some consistency year over year. It gives him a chance to make a change if he needs to next season, which could easily be a card he could play to energize the club. But also, as we discussed, the idea that, Barry has experienced a lot of loyalty from the general managers that he's served under, in particular David Poile, and has certainly learned at the knee of David Poile on how to do this job. So the idea that he's not going to be hasty in trying to fire his coach after a disappointing season kind of fits that, I think.
And I respect that and know that that's how he's wired. But I do wonder, with the coaching pool that was available to him this offseason, how much he considered making a change. I mean, he even said that's the easy thing to do, was to make a change, and he ultimately didn't do that. But I mean, there were a lot of good available coaches out there that if he has to make the change in November, probably won't be available.
No, that's true. And that's fair. But also, there's two things at play here. First of all, can you find someone who wants to join the current situation in Nashville over some of the other opportunities that are open right now? And then the other factor is, what does that ultimately do for the team coming into next season? Is it the coach? Is it the roster? I think it's reasonable to ask, if you gave Brunette a few more pieces, in particular in the middle of the lineup, can things improve next season?
Greg Wyshynski is with us. One coach that is now no longer available is Joel Quenneville. He was introduced as the new coach of the Anaheim Ducks yesterday. He, spoke a lot about the beach situation and how he handled things or didn't handle things, said that he's learned a lot of lessons. The Ducks did their research and their homework on him, but ultimately Q is back. So and there's going to be people that like this move, think he deserves another chance, and there's going to be people that don't support this move. But what do you think about the news that Joel Quenneville is now back as the head coach of the Ducks?
Well, from a logistics standpoint, he's a good fit there. He mentioned it a few times yesterday, but at this point in the Ducks maturation, they're kind of like where Chicago was when he took over there. They've got a lot of young pieces. He could easily be pretty successful in that spot, but count me as one of these people that doesn't believe that anybody involved in that Chicago scandal deserves another shot in this league. It doesn't mean they can never get another job in hockey. It just means they shouldn't get another job in the National Hockey League. If you read the report, there's a lot of people in this sport that believe that he's got plausible deniability for what happened in Chicago. But if we're being honest, he's quoted by two different people within that report saying that, he's willing to push this down the road or look the other way because he didn't want to mess with the chemistry of a team that was about to play for the Stanley Cup. And to me, making that decision in his capacity, and it wasn't like he was a novice coach at that point, is disqualifying. But the Ducks made their decision, and I know more than a few Ducks fans are not exactly happy about it. So they're going to have to go to the marketplace and probably continue to explain it.
Greg, let's go to the playoff tonight. Big game down in Florida. Toronto taking on the Panthers. And I love these stats. It says in the franchise history, the Maple Leafs have won 84% of their best-of-7 series when going up 2-0. The Panthers are 0-2 in best-of-7 series when trailing 0-2, which leads me to Florida's going to come back and win this. What is going wrong for Florida? What's going right for Toronto?
So what's going wrong for Florida? I think Sergei Bobrovsky's had a pretty bad series so far, kind of well under his standards. There just doesn't seem to be a.
The Pullman got him in the car.
There he is.
I was going to say, or a sense of confidence in the series for Florida. It's kind of weird. And maybe they just need to feel the backs.
Must-
Oh, okay.
Confident. And this and not have any doubt about the way that they're playing, and not have any doubt about their ability to beat their opponent. I think that tracks to Craig Berube, their coach, and the mentality of this team. But the Leafs. I mean, we're being honest, like they're the team in the East that I'm most impressed with right now, and the team in the East that to me is playing well enough to play for the Cup this year.
What would it mean if this Toronto team went all the way and won the Stanley Cup?
What would it mean? It ruined a lot of our fun in making fun of this team. That's for one thing. But it would be first of all, it would mean a lot for Craig Berube's legacy. I mean, this would be a guy that took two teams that, one team in St. Louis that was last in the league in January, he came back and won the Cup, and now a team in Toronto that hasn't won the Cup in 1967 that constantly is tripping over themselves in the playoffs and believing that they're haunted by the demons of the past. To lead that team to the Cup, I mean, establishes Berube maybe as one of the best coaches in league history. I don't know. It's hard to wrap your brain around the idea that they could, but if you watch this team and see how it's comprised and see the players like Willie Nylander, playing as well as they are, and see them playing physically and getting goaltending, there's kind of the Panthers might be our last best hope to keep them from winning.
Oh, my goodness.
It's kind of the way that things are looking right now.
The Dallas-Winnipeg series, game 1 was a lot of fun the other night. Game 2 tonight up in Winnipeg. How do you see this one playing out? Because I'm telling you, the excitement there, but something about Dallas, like a little chip on their shoulder, and I don't know why, but this is a fun – game 1 was fun, and I think the series is going to be fun.
The series is going to be fun. I mean, they do have a chip on their shoulder because don't forget, they've lost in the conference final in consecutive seasons. So they clearly believe it's their time. The Mikko Rantanen show, we're going to have 3 straight games with a hat trick. I don't know. We'll see. But Winnipeg really needs a response here. I mean, you hate to say a series boils down to what happens in game 2, but if they're down 0-2 going back to Dallas, with Dallas seemingly getting stronger as the playoffs go on and getting healthier as the playoffs go on, I mean, Winnipeg's in a heap of trouble if they don't win game 2.
Talking to Greg Wyshynski this morning on the Chase and Big Joe show, and looking at last night, I was watching Vegas and Edmonton. Fun game, great game. Vegas trying to even the series up, and it goes into overtime. Edmonton ultimately gets the game winner. However, the play right before the goal with Braden McNabb and Victor Arvidsson, I mean, it was a total missed call. I thought that Vegas handled it the best they could in the post game and everything. But I mean, Bruce Cassidy has every right to be upset today because I mean, he even said, listen, Gord's looking at it. He blew it. He missed the call. I don't know what you do about it. There's nothing you can do about it now, but if you're Vegas, you got to be sick today.
You gotta be steamed. Like it affected everything. It was a clear trip. I mean, clear as day. It's one of those moments where you're wondering if no whistle for fit.
Right.
Is the real gut for that team, and look, they know what they're up against right now with Edmonton. Like you've got the 2 top guys and Draisaitl and McDavid playing as well as they are, but everything else down that lineup is going pretty well for Edmonton as well, including getting enough goaltending to win. So Vegas is again in a lot of trouble right now because it seems like Edmonton is really kind of finding themselves at the right time.
Yeah, going to be fun to watch. It's been a fun playoff so far. Greg, appreciate the time as always. Before we let you go, you want to give a shout out to your mom for Mother's Day?
Yes, Mom. My mom is the best. She's insane, and I give her a shout out to her, and I give a shout out to my wife, who is the mother of 2 beautiful kids. So it's happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there.
Love it. Thanks, my friend. We'll talk next week.
Anytime.
Greg Wyshynski, ESPN senior NHL writer, brought to you by Old National Bank. Get old, and joins us every week. And yeah, I mean, Vegas has got to be just livid this morning. I thought Bruce Cassidy handled it with class last night, but
He
that was a
did.
fun game. And hey, shout out to our man Jake Wallman, who scored his first playoff goal last night. So that was that was something to see. There really
Pretty
is.
cute of him to do that.
Did he have
Yeah.
to call you 8 times first chase for he scored?
Yeah, about 7 asking what he should do, but it was all good.
Oh.
So the playoffs have certainly been fun. I teased it before. Now we'll get to it. A historic contract for a rookie. Can it open up a can of worms, so to speak? We'll discuss that coming up next. Is Chasing Big Joe on this Friday, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Tune in to 94.9 The Fan tonight as the Nashville Sounds continue their series against the Norfolk Tide. Pre-game at 6:20, first pitch at 6:35. Coverage also available on the app and at theGameNashville.com. Sounds baseball presented by Twin Peaks and Family Leisure. Chase and Big Joe here on 102.5, 106.3. The Game, continuing our discussion about moms. You can call in and give your mom a shout out. Tell a mom story, however you want to do it. We'll get to the rookie contract in a second, but Kenny the mailman has a comment on moms. What's up, Kenny?
Good morning, fellas. Thank y'all for doing this. You can tell it means a lot to a lot of people. And before I tell you my mother's story, Joe, the past 2 years, my wife is a trained chef, Babette, and she's been wanting to make you chocolate chip cookies to get you because your story's so meaningful. And I told her, I still don't think you're eating them yet. Is that right?
If she makes me chocolate chip cookies, I'll eat them. You can
Okay.
count on that.
But
I'll help
you was
him.
honoring your mother made them so well that you didn't really eat them for a while, right?
That's correct.
You
That's
didn't
right.
think I knew that. But
You're
yeah,
good.
you've been on her mind the past couple of Mother's Days.
Thank
But
you.
listen, I was a child of the 70s, and I was a huge surprise. My mother was in her late 40s when I was born. It was a different world. She didn't drive, didn't go places. It was a different time. But I loved baseball so much, she tried her best to learn how to drive. And my dad bought like a 30-foot-long Chrysler New Yorker for her to drive. She would not love my mom. She would not go over 20 miles an hour, would not get on the interstate. So if there was a game across town at 5 o'clock, we'd leave about 12:45. She could not parallel park. The best I could hope for was for her to let me out at the park. There have been times where you saw a little boy walking like a block and a half away because we parked at a gas station or a mall because my mother would not parallel park. But you know what? She did her best and she was willing to change so I could do something I love. And that's, true devotion. So I remember my mama very, very well, and thank y'all for doing this.
Yeah,
Kenny,
Kenny.
you'll get your
Kenny, don't go
you'll get
anywhere.
your cookies next year. Oh, okay. What do you need?
Let me ask you a question. One thing I miss about my mom is her voice, and so
Yeah.
my kids will never know that voice. My granddaughter won't. And I tell you, some days it wrecks me that they won't hear that voice. And I know you probably feel the same way about your mom.
Well, I can't take any more questions, Jackie. I can't deliver mail with tears in my eyes, but I appreciate y'all doing this. See y'all later.
All right, buddy.
Thank you, Kenny. Good. That was an awesome call. And talking about our moms, and we'll continue to do that as the show goes on, including a special guest. Nani is going to call in, and we look forward to that. But I don't know if you saw this, Joe, but throughout the draft process, we talked about wide receiver Jaden Higgins. Of course, started his career with the coach at Eastern Kentucky.
Yeah.
But he has signed his rookie contract with the Houston Texans, a fully guaranteed 4-year contract, $11.7 million, making him the first second-round pick in NFL history to have a fully guaranteed contract. How about that? That was pretty cool that he was able to do that. Usually it's the first rounders that get the guaranteed contracts, but Texans general manager Nick Cesario had no issues making history with Higgins, according to his agent. Does this open up a can of worms?
Well, I think it's going to be a thorn in the side of Titans for the next 8 games that they play because he's in the Texans. So, they all do. The Deshaun Watson contract that was fully guaranteed, that upset the apple cart in the National Football League. This, not so much. I think it's great that these second rounders could get this, and that's fine. But yeah, that's a big deal. And his comments, like you just said, talk about he's a big target. He's a good kid. We look for a nice future with him. Good for him, man. I think it's great.
Yeah, I just wonder if, with a rookie, I mean, you're going to have some that obviously it isn't going to work out. But like for a lot of these guys, this is game changing, for their families, for them. And I know he hadn't played one down in the National Football League, but to know he's going to get almost $12 million guaranteed as a second round pick is a really cool story. And I agree with you. I think he's going to be a thorn in the Titans' backside because I think this kid's going to be pretty good.
Well, it's 4 years, so it's $3 million a year roughly.
Mm-hmm.
Look, that's great. I mean, of course, if he has a good couple of years, he can renegotiate after the third year. But would you not like going into camp knowing that this team, if it's me, if I'm Jaden Higgins and know that this ownership believes in me so strongly that I got the first ever guaranteed contract in the second round, I'm going to do everything. If they ask me to go break rocks in the parking lot, I'm going to break rocks in the parking lot. I would do whatever it takes. Yeah, I think it's great. You're not breaking the bank. You're not paying L'Jarius Sneed $19 million to sit on his ass. I mean, this is good. I like this.
I do too. The Titans have also signed 5 of their 9 draft picks. Cam Ward, not one of those yet, but they got Kevin Winston Jr., Alec Iomanor, Jackson Slater, Marcus Harris, and Khalil Mullins. They got them all locked up as draft picks, and then brought in, I think, 16 undrafted free agents that'll join rookie camp. So working through the draft picks, 5 of the 9 that they got locked up. Still Cam Ward, and others still yet to be done, but I have a feeling they'll get that done pretty quick.
I think, Floyd, when he was a GM, did a great job, because I know they had Kenny Holmes held out like one day. He signed it. That was in 97. And then that idiot Pac-Man, he was like their biggest holdout in 05. And I think Chris Johnson was going to hold out in 11 with his extension, but they got most of those guys in. So now, these guys are all signed, they're slotted, they're put in, and they're good to go. So yeah. And the Cam Ward thing's not a big deal. That's already, I think they already know what he's getting, right? I think so.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
A lot of times it's the offset language and things like that kind of hold him up, but they'll get it done.
Yeah. So it's good for Jaden Higgins, man, and good for all these. I think it could be I don't know why it hadn't happened sooner, but good for him, man.
Yep, for sure. Coming up next, we'll get Chris Sanders' thoughts on that and rookie camp. He will join us coming up next. Chasing Big Joe on this Friday, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Hour number 2, Chasing Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3 The Game here on this Friday. Hope you're having a fantastic start to your day so far. He's Big Joe Dubin. I'm Chase McCabe. Dr. Crane, Nick Frazier behind the glass as well. His grandmother's going to join the show soon. Can't wait for that. That is going to be awesome. But right now we say hello to Forever Titans wide receiver Chris Sanders, who is on the line with us. Hello, Chris. What's going on?
Oh, man, I'm doing good this morning. Just we got a big track meet today at Montgomery Bell Academy for reading. So, man, I'm excited. Had a great birthday yesterday with my beautiful, amazing wife. So, man, I'm actually doing pretty good, man. Thank you for asking, brothers.
Well, happy birthday, for sure.
Appreciate it, man. I want presents. You want my Cash App?
Yeah. Yeah. I'll take care of that.
I'm kidding.
I want to start with Jaden Higgins, the Texans wide receiver that was taken in the second round. Gets a fully guaranteed 4-year contract, just under $12 million. He's the first second-round pick in NFL history to have a fully guaranteed contract. I mean, you played the position. Are you jealous or are you happy for the young man, or both?
Yeah, I'm both. I mean, I am happy for him because you want to get your money, but man, it just shows you how much the NFL is just revolving. Because when have you ever heard that somebody has a fully guaranteed contract? So basically, they're saying we're investing in you, we believe in you, we're giving you all this money, and we're guaranteed in you to give you all this money. So now we're expecting you to perform. So now, even though you're getting all this money, now the pressure sets in that you got to perform because they're guaranteeing you the money. Now you got to guarantee you making some plays.
Yeah, 100%. Titans will open rookie camp this weekend. It'll be the first time that we get to see Cam Ward in a Titans uniform on the field. He'll also have Restrepo there. He'll have his other rookie receivers that are going to be there. It's rookie camp. This is not going out to win the Super Bowl. But what do you want to see out of these guys?
I just want to see him develop and also not just develop, but what I want to see out of Cam Ward, number one, is I want to see how he's going to lead the operation. I want to see how he gets the guys out the hood. I want to see how he communicates with his receiver. And I want to see how he communicates with Callahan and all the other coaches. We know he's going to make mistakes. We know he's going to make some wrong choices on the field, but I want to watch how he responds. I want to watch a situation to where, say, if a play goes wrong, I want him to say, Coach, let me stop this play and make sure we correct it. So all those things that I want to see, I know everybody wants to see the long ball and see him throw those pretty catches, but I want to see how he operates. I want to see how he talks. I want to see how he communicates, because some of the things that he said in his interview, he said, I want to build relationships and I want to be coachable. Those are the two things that I definitely want to see.
All right, Chris, you ready?
What's up?
Here we go. Your song.
Oh my! Who is that? Oh,
there it is.
We're gonna play the whole thing.
I don't even know the words.
Just know that if the track meet gets rained out today, it's raining men, baby.
I never knew what it said. I thought it was raining pins. I never knew that.
Raining pins. Raining men, brother. Hey, also, you got a track meet.
Yes,
Shout out to my good friend, your track coach, Jan Pippen over there at NBA.
She's awesome.
She is
awesome.
She's the best.
And she's one of the best track athletes. She ran hurdles in high school, and I think the record still stands at her school. But my wife absolutely loves it. When I come to the track meets and my wife is there, she makes sure she's taking care of it. And then also, she just goes the extra mile to make sure all these kids are successful. Great coach, great person, and just a great person to be around.
She went to high school with me, my friend. So
who was the athlete out of the bunch?
She's probably the best athletes ever come out of McGavick High School.
Yeah, well, that's awesome. And you were good too.
I was the best, but she was the bestest.
And humble.
She was the bestest of doing that. Chase talked about, with the camp coming in there.
Yeah.
The undrafted receivers.
Yeah.
Can they do, and this is kind of a weird question, can they do too much to show off where they don't get the job done? You do way too much and you're overcompensating, things like that? Or how should you approach it? If you're Restrepo out of Miami, how do you approach coming in?
Yeah, you want to show up on the film every single time. I'm gonna give you a story, and this is a true story. There was another guy from Texas A&M that he didn't get drafted. He was a free agent, and his name was Chris Sanders. It's the weirdest. His name was Chris Sanders. He was a tight end. So we came in, and we had a whole bunch of receivers that year. So, I think we had about 7 or 8, and he was like the 10th guy. So what he did is he kept showing up on film. He kept doing one-on-ones. But here's how we made the team. The last game of the preseason game, he went up to the coach and said, Coach, can I just play kickoff return? And coach said, yeah, just get out there, not minding it. So what he does is he ran down there and he jumped over the wedge and made a tackle. You remember when jumped over the wedge and made the tackle. So the sidelines is going crazy. Next thing you know, it comes to cutting day. He makes the team because of that one play. You got to show up on film. And what you have to do for Restrepo, you got some guys that they draft. They got 2,000 receivers on the roster. What you have to do is you got to be smart. And when I say be smart, you do this. When the veteran guys they do one rep and go one-on-one, you go over and over and over again. So you consistently stay on their mind and consistently show up on film. So those are the types of things that you have to do.
Always noticed when I played, the guy that jumped in line first for the next drill. I mean, that's the guy that's like, all right. And and it showed. I mean, it wasn't always the best player, but my God, I mean, just the passion to get out there and go first was great.
Yeah, it is. I mean, and I'm not trying to, be funny about this movie. One of my favorite movies is Rudy, but there's a scene on there where they're going against these big old guys and they're doing a hitting drill, and Rudy jumps in and he gets blasted. The coach picks him up, throws him out. He said, get out of here. He runs back in there again, and next thing you know, he makes the team. Those are the things that you have to do. Even though you may, when the older guys start to come in and get more reps, the offensive coordinator, the defensive coordinator, wide receiver coach, the linebacker coach consistently sees your face, consistently see you on film. You put yourself in position to make the team.
So what's your advice to all the undrafted guys? Just give everything you got?
Yeah, give everything you got, but keep showing up on film. When I came in 1995, that's a long time ago. They already had like 8 established receivers where they had to run and shoot with Warren Moon. So I'm like, well, why'd they pick me? So here's what I had to do: is when those veteran guys were sitting on the sidelines, they were drinking Gatorade. I would consistently go one-on-one with the best defensive guys like Chris Dishman and Jackson every single time. So once they started seeing that, once the coaches started seeing me beating their top guys, they said, hold up, this guy is going from the 6th receiver on the depth chart to being in the starter rotation. Why? Because I showed them on film. I made plays. I was excited. I knew what to do, and that's what you got to do.
Love it.
Chris Sanders
I'm excited, man.
I know, right? Chris Sanders is with us. I was reading Jim Wyatt's little setup about the undrafted guys that they signed, and I read Xavier Restrepo's bio, and I'm like, did a 4.82 really prevent this guy from being drafted? Like, was it just that? Because I mean, you look at his stats.
Sure.
He should have been like a 2nd, 3rd round pick based on that.
Yeah.
So to me, that's going to be a really good weapon for the Titans to have.
100%. But here's the thing, and me and Jared, we fight on this every day. We talk about speed. Yes, speed is great, but you may get a speed guy, but don't have a game plan in running routes. When you have a game plan to line of scrimmage, when you're running routes, it's 3 phases. The line of scrimmage, the acceleration, and top of the route. If you look at Restrepo, I went back and watched some of his film. Look at the things that he does well. He has a feel of getting open. He understands that if he's in a slot and a linebacker shading inside, he understands how to run those choice routes. And when you got a guy with Cam Ward coming in that's going to be unfamiliar, he's going to go to his Mr. Reliable, and that's going to be, Restrepo, because he's familiar. And when you have a guy that consistently gets open and make plays, they're going to help your organization. Look at some of the guys that didn't get drafted, for the Patriots. I can't remember those three wide receivers. You know who they are, but those are some of the guys that didn't get drafted but still were impacting the game.
Yeah, 100%. Chris, as we let you go, you want to give a shout out to the moms?
Yes, I want to. Come on, I want to say Happy Mother's Day to the mothers, and I say this with all sincerity. A lot of times we look at athletes, we look at entertainers as heroes, but a lot of the heroes are the moms that sacrifice, the moms that love, the moms that give. That just like with my mom, she didn't get another pair of shoes for 10 years so that I can have. So I want to shout out to all the moms, not just the single moms, but all the moms, that you are our hero, and they made a song after you, and I'm so thankful that you guys been a part of our lives. We love you, Mom.
Hey, real quick, how many times did you break your mom's heart?
A lot.
Yeah, same, right? Same, man. Goodness.
A lot. I broke it a lot, but you know what? She loved me unconditionally.
Amen,
and
brother.
That's what makes Mom so special. Because I was a knucklehead. I had a bad haircut, everything. It was awful, but my mom loves me.
Chris, we appreciate
Yes,
you.
sir.
Good luck with the
Appreciate you,
track
man.
meet, and we'll
Thank
talk
you.
next week.
Appreciate you. Love you guys. Bye bye.
You do. Chris Sanders joining us here on the program, forever Titans wide receiver. Are you ready for it?
I am more than ready for this.
This is going to
boy.
be
The sweetheart of our show.
yes. This is the first time that Nick's Nani is going to be on the show. Dr. Crane's grandma is going to call in next, and I cannot wait for this.
Yes.
This is going to be fantastic. It's Chasing Big Joe, presented by the Omni Nashville Hotel here on this Friday, and broadcasting from the Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning Game Nashville Studios, home of the $99 yearly Beehive membership, where the buzz is always about great service. Is that was from Forest Company, right?
That was,
When was that?
I'd say, about a month or two ago.
Okay. All right. This
Sorry
is very,
about that.
Pretty good at the Olympics that year.
Oh, so that was Big Joe.
Yeah,
Okay, I get it now.
Sorry.
Chasing Big Joe, 1025, 1063, the game here on this Friday. We're honoring moms and grandmothers as well here on this pre-Mother's Day Friday. So without further ado, Dr. Crane, I will let you do the honors to introduce our next guest.
Thank you. Yes, this lady is my grandmother. Everybody calls her Nani. She's the neighborhood grandmother, Nani Parente. Nani, you there?
Yes, I am.
Hey, Nani.
Hi, baby.
You ready to talk to the guys?
Sure.
Okay, gentlemen, the floor is yours.
This is an honor to have you on the show. We love your grandson very much. He does a great job for us, but we've heard a lot of stories about you, and we wanted to have you on the show.
I hope they were good.
Oh, they're all very good. They're all very good. How is Nick as a little boy, as a young child?
Nick, as a little boy, he was always wonderful. He was a good baby. I adored him. He listened. I mean, he was just a great, great child.
That is fantastic. He still is, by the way. He's grown
grown
into a nice young man.
I'll tell you what, he loves his grandma.
Well, and that's very, very important. So you tell us a little about you. We know you're a very good cook. We have sampled some of your cooking that Nick has brought in.
Oh, well, that's great. I'm happy to hear that.
Yes, you're quite good at that.
Nani, you can open up a little bit. It's okay. You can lay the guard down. It's all right. They won't bite, I promise.
That's okay. That's all right. No, but thank you. I really appreciate that. And I appreciate you even thinking about me, for Mother's Day. I think it's an honor, and I am honored to be on the radio with you all.
Well, your young man talks glowingly about you all the time. And Nani, he's told us about your career and the path and everything. What a crazy, fun, wonderful life you have lived.
I have. My husband and I, we traveled. Was a professional wrestler, and we traveled for years and years and years. And then we settled in Tennessee, and then he got tired traveling, and we decided to open a restaurant, and it was a great success. We had it for 27 wonderful years. Got to meet some wonderful people from all over the world, not just Tennessee. And sometimes I still wish I was in the restaurant business, but I'm too old.
Nani, how they say you can make $1 million working in the restaurant business? You know how?
How?
Start with 2 million.
There you go. You're right. You're right. Because when you're in the restaurant business, it's just like, and you go from one day to the next, and then at the end of the week, you have a good week, and it's like, thank you, God, we had a good week, and then the following week you have a bad week. So, but it was great. We thoroughly enjoyed it. We met so many wonderful people. Like I say, sports people, news people, just from all over the world. And we thoroughly, it was a joy. It was joy to meet these people.
What wonderful cooking or thing that you've passed down to your grandson that you're proud of?
Well, they make meatballs pretty good.
Yeah.
And some of them know how to make my sauce. And there's nothing special, just, the little bit of this and a little bit of that you put in. Nothing, that you can get anyplace else.
See how she describes it, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Not ingredients, just a little bit of this, a little bit of that.
And when, that's sort of a family little thing.
Exactly. You're right, Nani. You're right. Hey, Nani, do you want me to say the story, or you tell them the story about when I was in the 2nd grade?
No, you go ahead and tell the story. Okay. You tell it better than I do, Nicholas.
Well, because it's Mother's Day weekend and so forth, Nani used to pick me up all the time in grade school. And, I was around my grandparents a lot, and they talked about heartburn and all this stuff. They had acid reflux. And so I told the teacher one day, I was like, I'm not feeling great. My chest hurts. My heart's burning. I need to go down to the nurse. So I go down to the nurse. I was like, I think I need to go home. My heart's burning. I don't know. So the principal calls my grandmother, and I could hear her in the other room laughing on the phone because the principal told my grandmother that I had heartburn. My heart was burning. So I knew that this would get me out of school. So, obviously she comes to pick me up. I see her, a big smile puts up on my face. I get back in the back of the Lincoln, and we drive home, and I go sit in the garden with my grandparents for like the rest of the day. It was probably one of the funniest days ever, but she had just a laugh out of it. It was so funny.
Yeah, Yeah, the child had a heartburn. He didn't know. He didn't even know what it was. So my thought is now, watch what you say in front of the children.
Yeah.
Because they will repeat it, but they don't know what it means.
So what was it like being in the wrestling business, being a wife in the wrestling business?
It was tough. It was tough on the children because their daddy was always gone. Like he come home at 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, and the children would go to school the next day, and then by the time they got home, he was already gone. But it was tough, and I think that was one of the reasons why we decided, that we needed to do something else so we could be around the children. And all my 3 grew up in the restaurant business, and they loved it. People loved the kids, and they loved them, and it was just Lorenzo's Italian restaurant was a big family. Everybody knew everybody.
Well, that's the way it's supposed to be, right?
And I know, especially on the weekends where we were jam-packed, literally, the people would go in the kitchen, get towels, and clean the tables and reset it so other people could sit on another table. That's the kind of clientele we had. It was a wonderful life. It was really a wonderful life.
Oh, that's awesome. Now, Nick, you call her Nani. Do we know her real name?
Yes. Her real name is Dina, also Christine. So yeah, that's
beautiful.
That's her real name. But yeah, people that are listening probably thinking what's the restaurant? The restaurant was called Lorenzo's. It was on Thompson Lane over there across from the public library.
Yep.
So for those that were curious, that's what my grandmother's referring to.
Love it. Very cool.
Well, Nani, thank you. This is an honor. We love you, even though we've never met you, but thank you.
It's my honor. Thank you. Thank you for thinking of me.
Absolutely. And
I love my Nicholas.
Well, we do too.
Love
He
you too.
will always be Nani's baby.
As he should be. Yep. As he should be. Have a wonderful Mother's Day.
Thank you so much.
Love you, Nani. I'll see you later. Keep
Love
the garage
you
door
too,
open,
bye-bye.
okay? I don't have a garage opener.
All right. Bye.
Love you. Bye.
Nick, your grandpa's got a pretty cool Wikipedia page.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew he was popular, but my goodness, he was popular.
Yeah, my grandfather back in the day, I think it was before Lynn Rossi passed away, I got to interview him, and I talked to him candidly off the podcast. I was like, Lynn, just give me a little background to that wrestling back then, the NWA era. And he goes, well, all these wrestlers, including myself, we wrestled in an era where it was true wrestling before it got to a lot of, the true storylines. And he said, if we wrestled like this today, we'd be making way more money than we did back then. And it's very true.
It's so cool too. And your grandfather's name was
Lorenzo Parente.
Lorenzo Parente. Whenever we've had wrestlers, like especially old school guys, that have been in or whatever, and you mentioned that, like, they light up, they all know who he is. And I think that's so cool and really awesome memory for you and your grandmother. And then Lorenzo's restaurant as well. I mean, I remember it for sure. So you got those memories, and I am just glad we got to have Nani on the show.
Well, I appreciate you guys allowing her to hop on the Nashville airwaves. This is kind of I guess you could call it a bucket list thing for me. I don't know. I've done some podcast episodes with my grandmother because, like Joe was saying earlier to Kenny the mailman, like, you're going to miss the voice of your grandmother or your mother later on in life.
Right.
And so for me, I love asking questions. And as a kid, my grandparents would take me everywhere. Like if it was their coffee, breakfast, whatever, with some of their friends from the Y, I'd go with them, and I'd be the only 6-7-year-old with a bunch of these 60-70-year-old people. And I loved it. I love the aspect of asking the other older generation about their history, because then it helps connect a younger generation to generations in the future.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I didn't mention it yesterday, but yesterday was 11 years since I lost my grandmother. So that was the first of my grandparents that I went through that, had her for 27 years. And I never did anything wrong. Just kind of like, I don't think you've ever done anything wrong in Nani's eyes. So that's the best part about the eyes of a grandmother. The grandson, granddaughter never do wrong. So
the unconditional love of grandparents is just you can't describe it, because like you said, you can't do no wrong, but the unconditional love is what just it warms my heart, because that's what everybody enjoys from their grandparents. They're never mad at them. They always love them.
Thomas from Nashville says, good morning. we loved Lorenzo's. He asked, was Tojo your grandfather? No, Tojo was another wrestler.
Yeah, Tojo Yamamoto was not my grandfather, but was very familiar with my grandparents.
Your grandmother sounds like a true gem. I'm glad y'all had her on. Thank you, Thomas. Appreciate that. Nevada Josh says, OMG, she sounds exactly like my great Nana. Some same laugh and everything. Crazy. Brought tears to my eyes. Holy crap, I miss her. Thank you guys for that nice memory. Never thought I would have anything close to hearing my great Nana's voice again. So that's cool.
Nice.
Happy to help. Again, we're honoring the moms and grandmas out there for Mother's Day coming up on Sunday. This weekend, there's a big baseball series up in Knoxville. The Vanderbilt Commodores will head to Knoxville to take on the Volunteers, a rivalry game. Andrew Allegretta, the voice of the Commodores, will join us coming up next here on 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Mama tried. That is for sure. Chasing Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3 The Game here on this Friday. Vanderbilt, Tennessee coming up this afternoon. We'll have pregame coverage for you at 4:15. Jared is on vacation, so the Force Company fellas will be filling in, and we'll turn things over at 4:15 over to the Vanderbilt Sports Network from Learfield. If I could speak, that's good for radio. Let's say hello to the voice of the Vandy boys, Andrew Allegretta, who is on the line with us now. Andrew, are you on the way to Knoxville? Are you in Knoxville? Where are you at?
I'm en route, and I'll say this: we'll see if I can speak because I'm on I-40. Was listening to that incredible conversation. I'm going to have to catch my own breath a little bit. I heard one of the texters say that it reminded him of his grandparents, and it may not shock people with the last name Allegretta. I also came from an extended Italian family, so I'm sitting here thinking about my grandparents and the food that they made and all of that sort of stuff. So I'm going to have to try to keep it between the navigational beacons here for this drive down I-40. Goodness gracious, that was wonderful. It was so cool. I don't have to yammer about it, but that was really neat.
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed that. And, we love Nick and his family as he's a part of our family. So it was cool that we were able to all share that moment together. But you're on the way to Knoxville. This is a huge series. This is one that I think a lot of people have had marked on their calendars. We all know the SEC is tough, but with Vanderbilt kind of having their resurgence this year, could potentially be, a national seed when it's all said and done. And then Tennessee, the defending national champions. I mean, could you write a better story for a late season series between these two rivals?
Yeah, probably not. Also considering the fact that Vanderbilt goes in ranked a little bit higher than Tennessee at the moment. Not to mention that the two teams are tied in the standings. Both of them are 14-10 in conference play, tied for 5th in the SEC. In a brutally crowded standing. So if one team gets the upper hand here this weekend, whether it's 2 wins or 3, it's going to do a great deal for what it means in postseason play, too, not to mention just the rivalry fact that Vanderbilt is trying to get back the edge against Tennessee, which they've certainly had the past handful of seasons. But, I think D1 Baseball, which is the primary publication for a lot of college baseball stuff these days, put out their predictions for the postseason, and they had Vanderbilt as the 8th seed, which is a national host, which in theory you could host all the way to Omaha, and Tennessee is a 9, which you can't. So there's a lot on the line, and both teams are deeply talented. But I'm sure trying to keep everything in check emotionally will be a big factor too.
Well, and Vanderbilt's coming off a rare loss on one of these Tuesday night games. Obviously, Louisville is ranked is a number 20 ranked team in the country, a very, very good team. So how can they maybe use a little bit of that motivation, have a little chip on their shoulder going into this series starting this afternoon?
Vandy didn't play clean, and they've not played great on the road. They've played well on the road, but not great. So they went up to Louisville. They lost 5-4 was the final score. Vandy committed 3 errors, which is deeply uncharacteristic for Vanderbilt. At last check, they led the conference in fewest errors. So they play clean baseball, and they didn't play clean baseball on the road in a tough environment. So, I mean, it's the exact formula for losing on the road. And I think Coach Corbin always has their attention. But if he needed one more data point for what they need to do this weekend, it's all of the things that they did versus Louisville back on Tuesday. Don't do those things, because if you do those, Tennessee will sweep you.
Talking to Andrew Allegretta on the Chasing Big Joe show. Andrew, this series, I think it's one of the most underrated rivalries in all of college baseball. It doesn't get talked about quite enough. And there's a little disdain between, Tennessee to Vanderbilt, Vanderbilt to Tennessee on baseball, which is great doing that. Winning this series, if Vanderbilt could do this, what kind of springboard does this give them heading into the final series next week and then, of course, into the SEC tournament?
Yeah, there's definitely disdain. And I think we all try to keep it above board and all that sort of stuff, but that's what college sports is, right? Like, there's passion. I've seen it the past handful of seasons. I can still think back to when the bat got tossed a couple of years ago and all of the hubbub that caused. So, yeah, there's plenty of fire in this matchup that there's been for years. One of the things, Big Joe, that's like really hard for me to figure out and wrap my head around, and I will quote a Tennessee guy, because I was talking to Chris Burke this past weekend and Tom Hart when they did the game. Like, every game in the SEC is huge until it's not. which is really weird. It's kind of the randomness of baseball. Like it feels like to me that it could be a springboard. But then if you come back home and you don't have success versus Kentucky the following weekend, then how big of a springboard was it? I think this team has proved to itself that they can beat very talented teams. The question is, can you do it consistently?
That's a great point. And this is a Tennessee baseball team that's hurting. That's why this game, I think today, Andrew, is so crucial, because if you could put doubt in Tennessee's mind that Vanderbilt's there to play and can play a complete game, I think they take the series. Tennessee has not played well in quite a while now.
Well, Tennessee has a Game 3 issue. They've got two outstanding starters in Doyle and Phillips. They've got a bit of a question mark on Game 3, and Vanderbilt, at least statistically, has lined up its best pitcher on Game 3. Not necessarily from a major league draft perspective, but from the guy that's performed the best this year, he's waiting on Game 3. So that's part of the reason that Tennessee has had some of their hiccups. But people that have followed this series for the past handful of years remember a couple of seasons ago, Tennessee was wobbly when Vanderbilt showed up, and Vanderbilt had the lead in the ninth inning.
Yep.
I think it was Dreiling hit a slider basically down off of his shoelaces out to right field. Tennessee went on to win the game, and then the next day, I think it was 17-1. Tennessee just shredded Vanderbilt, and they were off and running. And obviously had a very successful season. Didn't win the national championship 2 years ago, but all of the things that they've done. That weekend versus Vanderbilt was a springboard. So it certainly could be the same this year. I think Vanderbilt is going to have to play. Vanderbilt's margin for error, I think they're very, very talented. I really do, and probably in a way that they haven't been in the past couple of seasons. But they don't necessarily have a huge margin of error. So if Tennessee gets the snowball moving downhill, Vanderbilt's got to be careful about how those lows can get a little bit low this weekend.
I think you did a master class in sports broadcasting Sunday when Vanderbilt came back and won the game against Alabama. It was just great, and the home run was a shot. When you go into that final frame, knowing it's like that, do you think about in your mind what happens, or you just let the game play out and whatever you say, you say?
50-50, if I'm being honest. Like, I'm not naive to the moment. That would be silly. Nor was I naive to the moment when Vanderbilt beat Alabama. Like, I remember, so some of it's me, Joe, just to be honest. Some of it, I know, for me to execute what I want to execute, that I have to come with something to get it moving in those moments. If I flat out try to improvise, I'm not saying I sit back and Jim Nance the whole, like, the Huskies are top dogs and they win the national championship when UConn wins, that sort of thing. But I know that I need a little kickstart. So whatever it is, I knew the moment could be big. And in my head, I was thinking, like, if someone hits a home run, it could be like a season-defining swing.
Right.
So that was in my head. The rest of it is all whatever happens in the moment. And, our goal is exclusively to try to represent the emotion on the field with our voice. And that's where you have to let it take.
Well, it's going to be a fun one starting this afternoon, 4:15, the pregame, 4:30 first pitch here on 102.5, 106.3 the game. Go get 3 up there in Knoxville. I think this is going to be fun. This is always a good rival, but especially now with where both programs are, I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
I can't wait. I appreciate folks listening. I appreciate the kind words there, Joe, but it's going to be fun. This is college baseball, certainly at its best in the regular season.
Thanks, Andrew. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Jason.
Andrew Allegretta, voice of the Vandy Boys, who will be on the call this afternoon as the Commodores take on the Volunteers. And, one thing we didn't bring up there is the fact that both coaches are so good in their own right, but they're polar opposites of how they go about doing their jobs. I mean, we all know Tim Corbin and kind of his style, and it's very different from Tony Vitello and his style, but I think both are tremendous in what they do, and I can't wait to watch these 3 games.
And we say respect. Look, they don't like each other. Let's just put it out
fine.
there.
Yeah, they have to.
Yeah, I mean, it's what it is, and but it's going to be fun. He's right. That series 2 years ago was something else because Tennessee had it, or Vanderbilt had it won, and then Tennessee came back with that home run and everything, kind of springboard Tennessee for the final 2 years. But it'll be fun. Let's do it this afternoon.
What I think is so interesting too is for so long, Vanderbilt was the, no pun intended, the gold standard in college baseball and what Tim Corbin had built there. And you had so many programs that were looking at them. Well, now the SEC has grown, much like in basketball and football, has grown into being the most dominant conference, that Vanderbilt in some ways has had to reinvent themselves. Well, they have, and now all of a sudden here they are back in the national conversation. That just shows you how good Tim Corbin is.
Yeah, you're right, man.
That is for sure. Coming up next,
Sure.
coming up next, we'll tell you what day it is. Month. That's what we're celebrating. Get a $50 gift card to Central Barbecue in Capitol View for half off. That's $25. That's chaser math right there. Try their new barbecue sampler, ribs, wings, and barbecue sliders. Just go to thegamenashville.com/deals while supplies last. Tune in to Totally Hits 93.3. Tomorrow night is the Nashville Cats will take on the Albany Firebirds. Pre-game at 5:30, kickoff at 6. Coverage also available on the Totally Hits app and totallyhitsnashville.com. Cats will be back in action. Looking forward to that. And we got us a game coming up on the 24th. JoJo will be back in the broadcast booth.
Do we? I only know about Cats games when you send me a note.
Yeah, we will.
Okay.
So put that on your calendar. We'll have Dr. Crane come be our spotter.
Yeah, I'm all for that. I can get some binoculars out. I already wear glasses, but we'll do that. I'm having to wear an eye patch recently, guys. I'm not a fan of it, but it's it's at home because my left eye, I don't know if you guys realize this or not, but I have a lazy eye. And it wanders, so I have to wear an eye patch.
We have a lazy friend too, but
yeah.
Chilling in Joe's garden.
Yeah. With that, let's get to real quick. Wes wants to comment on moms. Wes, what's up?
I will not be doing any Joe style gardening with my mother this weekend. I just want to be upfront about that. But man, look, my mom raised me and 2 kids without a father figure in the house, and it wasn't easy growing up, man. You know, with a mom and 2 sisters, there was not really a man around except for me. So she did everything she needed to make sure that I knew and had all the tools of what life was really all about. And if it wasn't for my mom, I wouldn't be near, close to the person that I am today. So I just wanted to say shout out to her because I know she's listening right now. And she's legitimately my hero. I know everybody says that, but man, thank you, Mom, for literally everything that you've done for me in my entire life. So, and I appreciate y'all. Nani was awesome, and I hope y'all have a great weekend.
Thank you, Wes. Appreciate you, my friend. It was really good stuff. With that, let's get to what day is it and celebrity birthdays. Brought to you by Jared Companies, Inc., above and beyond industry standards. Wide-ranging fire protection, sprinkler systems, extinguishers, kitchen hood suppression. Visit them at jaredcompaniesinc.com.
All right, gentlemen. First on this, we have Fantastic Friday, giving Sharks a voice. Hooray for Button Day. Lost Sock Memorial Day. Military Spouse Appreciation Day. Let's see. National Moscato Day. Good old white wine.
Yeah.
Provider Appreciation Day. Tear off the tags off your mattress day. National Butterscotch Brownie Day. That sounds delicious.
That does sound good.
Right.
And last but not least, you guys won't believe me, but National Public Gardens Day.
Are you serious?
I swear, it's National Public Gardens Day today.
Oh my goodness.
Clothed or optional?
Yeah, it has a picture of a man, but it doesn't. It only shows the head. He's like right where the flowers
let's
are.
assume he's naked. All right, time for celebrity birthdays. Got to get these within 2. Our first birthday, Murphy Brown herself, Candace Bergen. How old is Candace Bergen?
Ooh, 80.
81.
79. Job, Chaser. The great, talented Billy Joel. Today's his birthday.
73.
72.
76. John Corbett was on Northern Exposure and Sex in the City.
63.
65.
64. That's a push. Chaser's up 1-0 right now. The actress Rosaria Dawson.
What was she in?
That movie where she was dying with Will Smith, and I forget the name of it. It was really good, and it was really kind of blew your mind up a little bit.
55.
I think it's Rosaria Dawson.
Rosaria?
Yeah.
Oh,
Go 59.
46.
Yeah.
What did I say?
Off.
Rosaria?
Yeah, Rosaria.
Rosaria.
Rosaria. My bad, mine. All right, go down some more here. 1-0 Chasers up. Oh, the guy who started The Simpsons, James L. Brooks. He did Cheers, The Simpsons, and a few other things. Taxi.
Matt Groening started The Simpsons.
He's the producer-director that brought it to the screen.
75.
80.
88. Guitar player Sonny Curtis from Buddy Holly and the Crickets.
87.
81.
88. He's still kicking. No crickets around that man.
Point for me.
That's right. Good job. It's going down here. Oh, the bass player for Cheap Trick, Tom Peterson. Oh, Tom. TP, we call him.
71.
65.
75.
Mm.
Rapper Ghostface Killah of Wu-Tang Clan. Come on, Chase.
54.
55.
55 exactly.
Wow.
We're tied at 2. Over to the sports world we go. Oh, wait, the lead singer of Depeche Mode, David Gahan.
50.
51.
63.
Wow.
All right, one of the best basketball players of all time, Calvin Murphy. How old is Calvin Murphy today?
58.
52.
77. Hockey player Stevie Yzerman.
Stevie Y, the captain. He is 54.
52.
55. Chase up 3-2. Prince Fielder.
44.
48.
41. Our last birthday, 2-time Super Bowl champion, son of the greatest football player of all time, Jake Long. That's Howie's son.
Howie's son, yeah. Jake Long is 39.
37.
He is 40. Chase wins 4-2. Job, Chaser.
Thank you very much.
Well done.
Shout out to all the moms, grandmas, and everybody out there. Happy Mother's Day. Have a wonderful Mother's Day. If you're going to steeplechase, be safe. Hopefully the weather will clear up. It looks like it could tomorrow, but just have a happy and safe weekend.
As we say, we usually leave our show with our guys out there to shout out, but like Chase said to our moms out there, remember these 3 things in life. Don't embarrass your teammates, don't embarrass your program, and more importantly, more than anything else, do not embarrass your mother. We love you, moms.
Amen to that. Peace, love, rock and roll. DVD coming up next here on 102.5, 106.3. The Game. By the way, on Monday, we're on at noon. So a little bit different time coming up on Monday.